Exactly that. We've been looking into some of the data, as I said, doing the job of the opposition. And we've seen that around a third of new cars in Wales are Motability cars, around a quarter of new cars sold in London and the North East are Motability cars, which just gives you a sense of the scale of what's gone wrong with this scheme. It cost the country about £3 billion last year, has gone up 10% last year under the government, yet Labour are doing next to nothing to tackle this problem. We're saying this is what you should do, not only stop some of the tax breaks on Motability cars, but also stop people getting cars who don't need them. Particularly, you shouldn't be getting cars, we've seen examples of things like acne, tennis elbow, ADHD, things like that. That is not what the scheme is for. And this is so, and people feel angry about this, so how unfair it is. You have people who've just seen their taxes go up in the budget, people who can't necessarily even afford a car themselves, paying for somebody who lives in their street to have a new car. This is unfair and it should be fixed.
If you want to scrap Motability cars for people, as you say, with conditions like ADHD, mild depression, and in some cases acne, what about PIP payments to those people, Helen Whately?
Well, yes, the two things are connected. So we've said that we will reform those PIP payments, sickness benefit system, and that you shouldn't get sickness benefits, you shouldn't get PIP for those reasons, and that's how you then get the mobility part of PIP, which gives you the access to the cars. So the two things are connected. One of the things that we're specifically setting out today is we did try and do a reform on this back in 2017 and actually got thrown out by the courts on the grounds of the European Convention on Human Rights. We have announced under Kemi Badenoch's leadership that we would leave the European Convention on Human Rights, and that would mean that wouldn't get in the way of us being able to do this, to make this really important change as part of the overall reform we want to do to fix that sickness benefit system, which is so broken.